Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. It's not just Salman Khurshid or Rashid Alvi. Now it is Rahul Gandhi himself who has waded in to this Hindutva versus Hinduism debate. Rahul Gandhi says Hindutva is a violent philosophy, but Hinduism believes in peace. The BJP says this only exposes his anti-Hindu mindset. The problem is, on the one hand, the Congress says, stay away from polarizing issues. We will only talk about development. We will only talk about jobs, economy, etc. While on the other hand, Rahul Gandhi himself presents such a polarizing issue to the BJP on a platter. We'll get to the debate in just 1 second, but first, I want to play out the story of the day so far.
ऐसी तुलना जो तुलना समाज में विष फैलाने वालों को ताकत देती हो, ऐसी तुलना से किसी भी राजनेता को, किसी भी समझदार आदमी को बचना चाहिए.
Is Hinduism about killing a clown? In which book is this written? I have not seen it.
This pathological hatred for Hinduism amongst the Congress leader gets its traction, gets its energy from Mr. Rahul Gandhi and from the Gandhi family.
हिंदुइज्म और हिंदुत्व की सही मानों में तशरीह है, उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन इससे ज़्यादा अच्छा नहीं हो सकता.
वो अब भारत के सनातन को, भारत को ज्ञान दे रहे हैं. मैं समझ में नहीं आ रहा है.
All right, it reflects at one level not just a confusion, but perhaps even a lack of understanding of Hinduism and Hindutva. And yet at the same time, the Congress party, which goes over and out of its way to say, oh, we don't want to talk about polarizing topics, we don't want to talk about Hindu-Musliman. Why would Rahul Gandhi give such an issue on a platter to the BJP just months ahead of the UP elections? On the talking point this evening, Professor Gaurav Vallabh, Congress spokesperson, will be joining us. GVL Narasimha Rao is Member of Parliament of the BJP and spokesperson. Deshrathan Nigam, political analyst, is also on the broadcast this evening. And Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, is joining us as well. Professor Gaurav Vallabh, I'll start with you. You know, why should the average Hindu in this country not take offense to what Mr. Gandhi has said? Because for the man on the street, there's no difference between Hinduism and Hindutva. Hum sab Hindu hain. And when Rahul Gandhi says Hindutva is like ISIS and Boko Haram, sorry, Salman Khurshid says Hindutva is like ISIS and Boko Haram, why should the 800 million Hindus in this country not be gravely offended at that statement?
Good, you had started with a very positive note that hum sab Hindu hai. And hum sab Hindutva wale Hindu nahi hai, Godse wale Hindu nahi hai, Mahatma Gandhi wale Hindu hai. The biggest preacher in last 150 years of Hinduism is Mahatma Gandhi. And there is one ideology which is called as Nathuram Godse's Hindutva ideology, which had killed the Gandhi. What is the difference between Hinduism and Hindutva? Hinduism is a great union of various Indian cultures and traditions, whereas Hindutva was first proposed as a political idea in 1923 by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Hinduism is inclusive. Hinduism is synonymous to secularism, whereas Hindutva is exclusive. And practitioners of Hindutva actively hate and fear other religions. Hinduism doesn't hate and fear for other religions. Practitioners of Hindutva oppose the traditional secular Hindu way of life.
जो distinction जो टीवी स्टूडियो में कह रहे हैं या राहुल गांधी जो जूम लिंक पे आज सुबह आके बोले हैं, how are you going to explain this to a voter sitting in Bharej और in बरेली और in लखीमपुर? आप एक तरफ आप कहते हैं कि बीजेपी सिर्फ हिंदू मुसलमान ही कहती हैं, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ राहुल गांधी खुद हिंदू मुसलमान इश्यू दे दिया उनको. अब बताइए.
जाकर जो भी प्रैक्टिसिंग हिंदू है ना, उसको पता है कि ना तो कोई वेद में, ना कोई उपनिषद में, ना कोई धार्मिक ग्रंथ में, ना कोई मीमांसा में, ना कोई वेदांता में हिंदुत्व शब्द है. हिंदुइज्म हिंदू धर्म के बारे में है, पर हिंदुत्व शब्द कहीं नहीं है. हिंदुत्व शब्द विनायक दामोदर सावरकर ने एक पॉलिटिकल आइडिया लिया है. हिंदुत्व शब्द गोडसे को सूचित करता है. हिंदुत्व शब्द
GVL Narasimha Rao, Hindutva is a political ideology coined by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. It's a according to the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi and Professor Vallabh, it is a violent ideological philosophy. It has nothing to do with Hinduism. Please respond, sir.
Good evening, Jaka, to you and all the panelists. Even if the Congress party were to make that argument, is it acceptable for any political party to equate Hindutva with ISIS and Boko Haram? If Hindutva forces, I think the clear target is the BJP and by extension the Sangh, the RSS. We are a democratic party, the world's largest party, elected to office in nearly 20 states. We are in power at the center twice. How dare you call us? How dare you compare with a people elected government, a party, with ISIS? Is it your frustration that is showing? Or is it your love for the vote bank? And you want to abuse the BJP, the RSS, and by abusing the Hindus, and then you want to unite the Muslim vote bank. Is this not about vote bank politics? You coined the words Hindu terror. You coined the words Hindu Taliban. And you call us the ISIS. Would you have been alive? Would a regime like ISIS or Taliban would allow anyone to even make a comment like this? How dare you do it? You're abusing not just the BJP, you're abusing the secular Hindus of this country only because of your fascination and your love for Muslim votes. Today it is not Mahatma Gandhi's Congress. Stop taking the name of Gandhi. You are a Babar Congress. You want to pursue the ideology of Babar. You want to ignite, you want to provoke Muslims, and you want to unite them in competition with the secular Samajwadi, so-called secular Samajwadi party and the OIC. I think there is a competitive communal politics that is going on in Uttar Pradesh, where the Congress is competing with the Samajwadi party and the OIC for the Muslim vote bank. We are a party. We believe in Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. And you want Sabka Vinash. You want Hindu ka Vinash.
I want to ask Rashid Kidwai, you know, the problem is also an utter lack of, understanding, thereby creating confusion. On the one hand, Rahul Gandhi wants to make this very erudite, academic distinction between Hindutva on the one hand and Hinduism on the other. At the same time, next day he comes out and he says, I'm a Janeyudari Brahmin. A third day he comes out and says, I'm a Kashmiri Pandit. A fourth day he's a Shiv Bhakt. I mean, let him make up his mind. Is he going to stand up there and say, I am against anything that represents the Hindu religion or Hindutva or whatever he believes is a violent philosophy? Or is he going to, metamorphose into this Shiv Bhakt one day and a Janeyudari another day? This is the nub of the problem, Rashid Kidwai.
Yeah. I think, Zaka, here we are mixing too many things. Fact of the matter is, there are various groups, sects, political parties, political leaders have tried to define Hinduism in various forms and shapes, and their articulations have been very different. One can, criticize them or say something, but I think Salman Khurshid has gone a step ahead, and this is an exaggeration, and it's perhaps inaccurate to equate Hindutva ideology with ISIS, because whatever we may criticize Hindutva ideology, but it has find its place in electoral politics, and not once but twice is a political party which has won a full mandate. Yeah. So I think what Rahul Gandhi is saying something different, and what Salman Khurshid said something very different. And to bring OSC and Samajwadi Party and other this thing, I think this is also that gentleman is also being undemocratic.
No, but tell me, how is what Rahul Gandhi has said any different from what Salman Khurshid has said?
Simply because he is not equating it with ISIS.
No, but he's saying Hindutva is a violent philosophy. Hindutva teaches you to kill akhlaq. Hindutva believes in killing people. He's saying the exact same thing in different words.
No, Zaka, same things are said about political Islam also. I can argue that political Islam is not compatible with Islam as a faith. I can go on marshalling that argument. It's not that I'm putting Islam as a violent religion.
One sec. Let's be clear. Salman Khurshid has equated what he believes is, and I'm quoting from his book, Robust Hindutva is the same as ISIS and Boko Haram. Mr. Rahul Gandhi today says, Hindutva teaches you to kill. Hindutva is what killed Akhlaq. These are his words. This is what Mr. Gandhi said. So I'm trying to understand what is so different in what these two gentlemen said. They're saying pretty much the same thing. Different words, but the meaning is the same.
Well, that is your interpretation.
Or you are deliberately, you are not interested to understand.
No, one second. Rashid Kidwai has covered Congress Party for 40 years. Let him explain.
No.
One second. Professor Vallabh, I'll come to you. Ek karke, please. Ek karke. Rashid Kidwai first.
Rahul Gandhi is making a distinction between fringe element, mainstream political party, a faith that is he thinks is a human faith, a faith that is, has got, extremism, extremist elements, etc. He's making that distinction. Salman Khurshid has not gone into that exercise. He has equated plainly, directly Hindutva with ISIS.
Can I, for the benefit of our viewers, our panelists, everybody watching this, and maybe if Rahul Gandhi is watching this for his benefit as well, can I read out to you what Justice J.S. Verma, one of the most respected Supreme Court judges that we have ever had. One second, just for our viewers. He says, this is in a Supreme Court judgment in 1993, Hindutva is a way of life for all the people living in the subcontinent. And Deshratan Nigam is also a lawyer. Deshratan Nigam, I fail to understand that Salman Khurshid, who's a practicing lawyer in the Supreme Court of India, is either unaware of what Justice Verma has said or simply chooses to ignore this. I mean, how can he, coming from the same bar in the same Supreme Court as Justice J.S. Verma, equate Hindutva to ISIS and Boko Haram when Justice Verma in a judgment has said that Hindutva is a way of life practiced by everyone living in the subcontinent?
Yes, Zaka, in
made
fact,
a reference of this.
Deshratan Nigam, please.
In fact, Zaka, before Justice Verma, it was Justice Gajendra Gadkar in 1966 who laid down the foundation. It's a beautiful judgment written by, runs in hundreds of pages, where he analyzed the Sanatan Dharma and Hindutva and Hinduism and came to the conclusion it's a wonderful way of life where every shade of opinion is accommodated, accepted and tolerated. And it's a beautiful judgment, and Justice Verma followed it up in 1993. However, we don't make any distinction between Hindutva and Hinduism. These are civilizational concept, cultural concept and geographical concept, and we take pride in it, and ancestral as well. So therefore we say, when we say everybody is a Hindu, it's more civilizational and cultural and ancestral. And therefore everybody should take pride in it. Everybody has their own modes of worship, ways of worship, and we all respect that. And if you look at the tradition of Sanatan Dharma, ageless, Sanatan means ageless, there is a system, a tradition of questioning everything. The dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjun is a question answer. So he's seeking truth. Hinduism is evolutionary. It is not bound by one thought. Even we have 6 philosophies which are so varied, from Mimamsa to Sankhya and everything. So if you look at the beauty of this religion, I think Rahul Gandhi needs to understand this, and then the effort out here is appeasement and polarization, and there will be a reaction to it. And at the same time, make a division among Hindus, calling them Hinduism and then Hindutva, make those kind of distinctions. They are artificial distinctions made by politicians, and we do not believe in that.
Okay.
At the same time, this is all electoral. And how can anybody compare it with Boko Haram, ISIS and Taliban?
No, even if it is electoral, I don't understand. Does Rahul Gandhi and the Congress Party seriously believe after saying this, they will still get the Hindu vote? I mean, this is electoral blunder, if anything. Anyway, let me go back to Gaurav Vallabh, and please explain to me, sir. I just outlined, you took great offense at the fact that I said that Rahul Gandhi said Hindutva is what killed Akhlaq. Now, please tell me. He said it. I did not say it. If you want me, I can play that bite again of what Mr. Gandhi said.
I am asking a very simple question, and both of them can reply. Any one of them. That where, in which religious text वेदा, पुराण, सांख्य, मीमांसा, वेदांत, योगा, वैशाखा, न्याय, इतिहास, where the word Hindutva is written.
No, I'll ask them. I will ask them. You ask them a question, I will ask them. But please answer my question. When Mr. Gandhi says Hindutva killed akhlaq, why should Hindus not take offense to that? What does he mean by Hindutva killed akhlaq?
Because आप एक आदमी को जब तक सड़क पे मारते हो, जब तक वो मर नहीं जाए, और बीजेपी के मंत्री उसका माल्यार्पण करके स्वागत करते हैं. हाउ डेयर यू?
अरे सर, आप बीजेपी को कटघरे पे खड़ा कर दो. नहीं, आप बीजेपी को कटघरे पे खड़ा कर दो. जिन लोगों ने मारा उनको कटघरे में खड़ा कर दो. हिंदुत्व को ब्लेम करने में से क्या मतलब निकला? I didn't get it.
What you are practicing is Hindutva. That please interfere in others and not to interfere in other persons. That is something called as, यही इसको ही कहते हैं जाका, घृणा.
अरे सर, आप क्या कह रहे हैं? एक आदमी मर गया, जो भी वजह है उसको.
Let me complete.
Okay.
Let me
complete.
You are saying on one day somebody is saying मैं काशी का बेटा हूं. Another day मैं माँ गंगा ने बुलाया है. Another day जूता पहन के केदार बाबा के मंदिर में. Another day काला चश्माधारी. ये कौन सा हिंदू है? ये हिंदुत्व है. ये जूते पहन के मंदिर जाने वाला हिंदू नहीं हो सकता.
ये क्या बात कर रहे हैं? कहां से कहां लेके आए आपने? मतलब घूम फिरा के कहां लेके आए आप बात को?
मंदिर जाता है वो हिंदू नहीं हो सकता. वो हिंदुत्व है. That is what हिंदुत्व is. That is what I'm saying.
आपने जो पूछा, नहीं, आपने जो पूछा, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, कहाँ लिखा है कि चश्मा पहन के भगवान के मूर्ति के सामने आप नहीं खड़ा हो सकते हो? बताइए, कौन से पाठ में लिखा है कि आप चश्मा पहन के भगवान की मूर्ति के सामने आकर प्रार्थना नहीं कर सकते हो? बताइए,
ये तो आज
कहाँ लिखा है?
अब तो बहुत आपने एक अच्छा
पूछिए, मतलब बोलिए ना. अगर आपके पास जवाब है तो बताइए ना प्रोफेसर वल्लभ.
सामग्री में कपूर, कुमकुम, मोली के साथ काला चश्मा भी डालना है. That is what you are trying to say.
GVL to respond. He's not given an answer to my question. He's asked you a counter question. किस वेद उपनिषद पाठ में हिंदुत्व शब्द का जिक्र है?
No, Zaka, the Congress wants to shoot and scoot. They want to abuse Hindus, but not answer when they are called into question. And you are talking about.
Sir, one second, please. उनको बोलने दीजिए, please. बीच में टोकिए मत, please.
I did not interject.
Zaka, please.
बीच में टोकिए मत, please, Professor Vallabh. Please. GVL, only GVL.
If an entire Hindutva, if the entire 1 billion Hindus of this country and 1.3 billion people of this country who are considered to be followers of Hindutva, because it's purely not a religious concept, and if you're blaming the entire civilization for a killing of akhlaq, what would you call the Congress party which killed 3,006 on the streets of Delhi? Is it really not a Biko Haram in India? Does it not qualify to be called a Biko Haram? Killing 3,006 in Delhi, and Rajiv Gandhi calls it, justifies such a killing.
नहीं, इसका तो जवाब दे दीजिए ना. नहीं, one second. इसका जवाब दे दीजिए. नहीं, इसका जवाब दे दीजिए, प्रोफेसर वल्लभ.
Rajiv Gandhi supported
when 3,006 died in Delhi, Professor Vallabh, एक second. When 3,006, sir, when 3,006 were killed in Delhi, तब किसी ने नहीं बोला ना कांग्रेस पार्टी आईसिस है या कांग्रेस पार्टी बोको हराम है? किसी ने बोला? बताइए. I'm asking you. Yes, I'm asking you.
I had asked a very simple question.
नहीं, I'm asking. मेरे सवाल का उत्तर दे दीजिए, please. मेरे प्रश्न का जवाब दे दीजिए. When 3,006 were killed in Delhi, किसी ने बोला कि कांग्रेस पार्टी आईसिस है या कांग्रेस पार्टी बोको हराम है? किसी ने बोला? नहीं,
मुझे बताओ ना.
सर, मेरा सवाल जो है उसका जवाब दे दीजिए, प्लीज.
कौन से वेद में,
प्रोफेसर वल्लभ, मेरा सवाल जो है उसका जवाब दे दीजिए. When 3,006 were killed in Delhi, did anybody say Congress party is ISIS?
Please let me know.
नहीं, प्रोफेसर वल्लभ, नहीं, ठीक है, मैं पूछ लूंगा. मेरा सवाल का जवाब है आपके पास? मेरा सवाल का जवाब है आपके पास?
You ask the question, I will give you. You ask the question, please ask.
When 3,000 Sikhs were killed in the streets of Delhi in 1984, did anybody come up and say कि Congress Party की ideology और ISIS की ideology same है? या Congress Party is equal to Boko Haram? किसी ने बोला?
ज़का, उसके लिए राहुल गांधी जी ने, हमारे अध्यक्ष ने, CWC ने रेजोल्यूशन पास किया कि that is something which is unfortunate. We had said sorry. पर महात्मा गांधी को जिस
unfortunate you killed 3,000 people and you think you can wash away your sins.
आप please tell me.
Simply giving a statement.
Please tell me कि गांधी को गोली लगी तो RSS बोला क्या कि हमारी गलती से हमने गांधी को मरवाया? किसी ने बोला? आज तक बोला? अगर ये बोलना चाहते तो अभी बुलवाइए.
क्यों बोलेंगे? राहुल गांधी को हमने कोर्ट में खड़े में खड़ा किया.
आरएसएस की आइडियोलॉजी में विश्वास करते हो या गांधी की?
Rashid Gidwai. No, Rashid Gidwai. I want to come to the more immediate, more pressing context, and that is, this is going to be picked up by every BJP leader over the next 3 months in the UP election, and this will become the singular pole around which the UP election will be defined. And who is responsible for it? Rahul Gandhi. He gave the BJP this issue on a platter. He can't hold anybody else responsible for this.
Zaka, this battle for ideology has been going on since the first election, 1951. This kind of that, the BJP, RSS, Jan Sangh being, supposedly representing, hawkish theme of Hinduism, etc. Now, this voters have, given verdict differently. What was the verdict in 1952, 57, 62, 67, 71, all those things. And later on, what is happening now. So this is the electoral matter. Now, the point of contention and controversy is Salman Khurshid's remark equating with ISIS. I think that is wrong. Rahul Gandhi and Congress should have put a lid on it because it's not going to politically suit them. It cannot be beneficial. I don't understand.
On the contrary, instead of putting a lid, he's actually fanned the flames even more.
No, he's saying
this issue is going to be kept alive for the next 6 months.
Yeah, that will be there. But you see, when we talk about 1984, there is no defense. Congress has apologized. Manmohan Singh, Sonia Gandhi in Golden Temple itself. We must also remember 30,000 Hindus, innocent Hindus lost their lives.
I got to wrap up. I'm talking about 6. I'm getting another piece of news which is equally important, which is equally pressing. I want to thank all our guests. Thank you so much. But this one is coming from Punjab. And it's a move that's surely going to spark a political firestorm ahead of the Punjab elections. The Chief Minister, Charanjit Singh Channi there, has said that in solidarity with the farmer agitation, his government has decided to give 2 lakh rupees in compensation to the 83 people who were arrested by the Delhi police on the 26th of January for carrying out the tractor rally. Remember, this is the day there was anarchy on Delhi streets. There were tractors on Delhi streets. They stormed the Red Fort. There was total chaos. This was in protest against the 3 farm laws. Let me go across to Pallavi Ghosh. Arun Dhanta is joining us with more details on this. Arun, is there any explanation, anything that's been put forth from the Chief Minister's office as to why they are doing this? They're actually rewarding rioters. They're actually encouraging lawlessness by giving them 2 lakh rupees.
Well, that's right. Absolutely, Zaka. This is the vote bank politics of highest order. We know that Punjab is a poll-bound state, and they have found this opportunity that, of course, farmers have a very huge vote chunk there in Punjab, and therefore offering the compensation of 2 lakh to all those accused who were participating in that 26 January rally, which created mayhem, in which more than 300 police personnel got injured. Many media personnel were also beaten up by them. And the religious flag was also unfurled at the ramparts of Red Fort, and many other things which they created here, a problem which they created here on the streets of Delhi. And this seems to be, the appeasement politics which Charanjit Singh Channi and his party know that in Punjab it's not going to be easy for them to come back to power. There's anti-incumbency against them. There's internal issues which they have, and therefore they've resorted to this, that they will be awarding all those accused which have been arrested by Delhi police in creating the mayhem in the national capital.
All right, Arun Dhanta, we'll leave it at that. It's unbelievable. I've never heard of an instance where a state is rewarding people who have taken the law into their own hands. Raman Subramaniam of the Congress is joining us on the phone line. Mr. Subramaniam, What is the logic? I mean, aren't you encouraging people to move towards lawlessness and anarchy by rewarding them?
We have to understand everything from the point of view that Punjab is right now undergoing. You have to understand that these farm laws were, imposed upon Punjab, and especially the farmers of Punjab and Haryana and so-called North India. So why aren't you questioning the very reason why everything is happening? Which is be it borders, be it 26, be it anything. Why don't you understand that there is total collapse of the democratic values at the top?
Sir,
So
I agree with you. You may have issues with the 3 farm laws. The farmers have been sitting for the better part of the last 1 year. But my limited point is, by encouraging people to take the law into their own hands, by giving them a reward, I'm not sure that that is helping solve anything. It's only going to encourage more and more people to take the law into their own hands, eventually, encouraging anarchy. We'll leave it at that. I'm afraid I'm out of time, sir. Thank you so much, Raman Subramaniam there from the Congress Party, for joining us. That's a wrap. I'll catch you again Monday night, same time. Good night.